Updating settings.
Should be set.
Refreshing.
Yep.
There it is. Now we're live.
We're good.
You see it? I don't see it yet.
I saw it.
Okay. Did you hear our voices?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, well, good evening. Today's Thursday, February 19th, and this is a meeting of the Policy Committee. There is a possibility that a quorum of the full membership of the Board of Education may be in attendance at board committee meetings. There will be no full board action taken at any board committee meeting. Only members of the committee may vote on any item on the agenda. A live broadcast will be streamed on the school district's YouTube page. To watch the recorded meeting, visit our school district of Menominee Falls YouTube site. It is 5:21. And we are in the Village Hall Upper Level Conference Room 3344/45 at West 156 North 8480 Pilgrim Road. I'm calling this meeting to order, and was the meeting properly posted? Yes. Okay, super. We'll move on to a minutes approval, so I'll need a motion. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review the minutes. I'll need a motion to approve the January 15th Policy Committee meeting minutes. A motion. Motion by Board Member Holzman.
Second.
Second by Board Member Langer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. Moving to discussion items. We have all, the only things we're talking about tonight are Neola administrative guidelines. The first item up for discussion is the 6,000s.
All right, so the 6,000s are financials. And I found that a lot of language in here was unnecessary, or things that we just naturally do within our processes, either within Skyward or with new hire, paperwork, etc. So we did delete, you'll see a few of them, or many of them, several of them. So there's grant writing is deleted, like just unnecessary. If we're writing a grant, the information that's required is within the grant, so having this procedure was just honestly kind of odd and unnecessary. Same with the budget appropriations or preparation. We have our own budget calendar and internal documents that we follow that are more specific than these Neola guidelines. Purchasing we keep, and we remove language again that was unnecessary or automatically happens within our Skyward financial software. So a lot is automatic now, meaning like the approval chain is automatic. We set that up when we have changes in personnel. So that reflects our procedures. And then again, you're gonna find deletions, preparing purchase orders, that's all just already within Skyward. Bidding is not applicable to us. We have RFPs, and that process is outlined in policy. And this bidding process it's not the same as the RFP process, so that's just unnecessary for us. And then same with instructions to bidders. Stockroom requisitions is unnecessary. Returns and exchanges is unnecessary. Mileage reimbursement, we have our own form on our intranet. So again, that's unnecessary. Tell me whenever if you have a question. Procurement, federal grants. We deleted that one, felt it was unnecessary and quite honestly kind of excessive for like not practical, like to research a business before making a purchase, to make sure that they're it even talks about defining small business as one that typically makes a maximum of $750,000 to $38.5 million in annual revenue. So like that's just not practical for us to research as we're purchasing things. Now we get to use of credit cards, so that when we keep in our, so there's two procedures and corresponding policies. There's use of credit cards and then purchasing cards. We kept And for policy, the one that's called use of credit cards, so the same thing with the procedures. You'll see there's a lot of green because we took a lot of the language from the purchasing cards procedure and merged it into the credit cards procedure. They function really as the same thing except we get rebates with our program. And side note, as I was reviewing this and just looked, brushed up on our rebates, we received almost $70,000 in rebates from our purchasing card program. So that's a significant source of revenue for us.
I did have some
Yes.
questions here. So,
Okay.
on the credit card, because that's the one we have.
Yes.
And again, so a credit card is issued in a person's name, right? Like,
It's in a name and then there's also a school.
whereas like a P card or purchasing card would just be like a department or
So
a school
it
or
really
what is
could
the
be one and the
difference?
same.
Okay.
The difference, and let me pull up a document here I have. So, let's see here. In doing research on like what the difference actually is, P cards allow us to manage all of our cards under one umbrella, so like we can log in and see all cards rather than, and what we actually have is a P card program or a purchasing card program. But nobody knows that language because it functions just like a credit card. So we can, as the business office, can log in and look at all of our cards. A card is issued with a person's name and the school or department. So it's not in just Caitlin Windler Business Services.
Cause I mean, I saw the second sentence, it says all transactions must be made by the individual to whom the card is issued. And so I was wondering, like,
Oh,
do the
okay, so
principals
then-
have a card that like
The prin-
everybody in the school is allowed to come and check out and like, hey, I need to make this purchase,
Right.
but then they're,
Good question.
Okay.
So there is a card that's specific and then there's a card that's not specific. So it would be in the school's name and that is a card that can be checked out. And then we have checkout procedures and then like when the card is returned, it has to be returned with the receipt that doesn't have tax on it, that's an itemized receipt. So we have protocols for returning the card with the documents that are needed.
how many cards do we have approximately?
I'd say approximately about 25.
And this is like, it's probably like principals and then like district office. and then-
Principal's district office and then the schools have, so like Shady Lane's gonna have two because it's the principal and then it's the office that has one that can be checked out. And then we do have some of our department purchasing agents, so people who are overseeing music or art, for example, have a card that they can utilize.
Facilities has one?
Facilities has one, so different, the divisions.
Where are they kept?
There's I would call it like the budget manager or the,
Secure.
so,
Like it's not just in a desk drawer.
well, it's in a wallet, likely.
It's on their person.
So
It's on their person.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
just for
It's
some,
not-
like,
And like
It's not
ours,
like in a file cabinet so that like.
if it's the office card, it's in the locked filing cabinet of some sort, or a safe.
where they might have paid cash or other stuff too,
Yep.
so.
Exactly.
The reason I brought facilities up is because letter D here, vehicle repairs, doesn't facilities own, don't we own vehicles that facilities use?
Yeah, we do, yes.
So how do they pay for the repairs and maintenance?
Invoicing and check requests. So vehicle repairs is, and that language, like the green, really, if you look at the purchasing cards, it like really that language came from the other one. Just scooted over into here, so that's kind of like Neola language, and we crossed off, or we didn't include, I should say, the ones, like, for example, postage. Like, there might be a case where we do use our credit card or our purchasing card to pay for postage. Vehicle repairs is on here because it prevents, like, everybody drives their own car, so it prevents the shady business that somebody uses it on their own
Mhm.
vehicle
No, I
so
understand
it's
that.
just-
How do we pay for maintenance and repairs on
on our vehicles.
our vehicle?
So we work with the whatever auto body or whatever it is, and we use purchase orders and then have check requests.
Okay,
So we pay them,
okay,
we get check, and it could be ACH, doesn't have to be paper check, just
Yeah.
because it's check.
It's not, we don't use our credit card for that.
Correct.
Okay.
We don't right now. And I would say like, I mean, that one, I hemmed and hawed on that one, cause I'm like, well, you could, but it just provides more oversight for us when everybody drives a car, for us to have this one more step of a double check.
And does anyone, I mean, I don't feel like you have to go through them all,
Okay, no.
I just say like, I just had a question about crowdfunding.
Yes,
Like,
let's go to crowdfunding, 6605.
yeah, like, could you, like,
Yeah.
so an example, like, do we do this? I read it and I mean,
So we really don't do this procedure right now.
okay,
This will be a new procedure for us, so it's one of those that I've marked as, you know, in the next few months, we need to make sure that we are informing our staff and especially our principals. So in our new procedure, before something is put up on a GoFundMe or, I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head. On one of those types of websites where we're raising money, a principal has to approve it. So on page 2, you can see some of those items that have to be included in what, whatever employee wants to put something to raise money for whatever it is, they have to present the budget for this item or this project to the principal, including a narrative of what will be put on the website. Specifically the pictures that will be used. We can't use student faces, so like it does say specifically in letter E, you can use the backs of heads or hands as like included in a picture, but no identifiable student information. Anything that would be raised, money or items or whatever it is property of the school district, not of the individual who raised the money via the crowdfunding website. So for example, if somebody raises money and then years from now, they are in a different school district, those items stay in the school district, so they don't transfer with the person.
so what are we thinking about? This is,
Oh.
I just wanna know what the vision was of this, it's like we're gonna raise money for like a new soccer I know we already have it, like, this is
No,
not like
I
we have a
would-
teacher who's ill and everybody, we're like,
No,
we're
this is
asking
like,
for funds.
Hey, there's like this really cool light up table, I don't know, there's like always new stuff coming out, right? And it's generally not, I don't know, it's like not small things because supplies
The
go through the
first
school
smart
district, the school's budget, so you might have, I don't know, like new bookshelves that are a want and not a need in your room. Or,
Do you remember how like maybe at grade schools, when our kids way back in the day, we used to do like fundraising for the grade school? So maybe it's,
yeah,
instead of like
just-
selling tchotchkes, it's crowdsourcing,
Yeah.
people want to
I
donate.
mean, I would like to at least while I'm still around, that like it's used few and far between, like not everybody in like every teacher decides like I wanna do this thing in my classroom and then like, I mean, I realize that, you know, budgets are always tight, but people also do pay a lot of money in property taxes.
Mhm.
And if they feel like they've paid all this money and then they're getting hit for this little table, this
Mhm.
table and this bookcase
So
and
should
this
we-
and this and this and this
Mhm.
and like everybody's got their pet project and the school is basically raising money for,
So should we
Like,
include
is
some
there some
language
kind
of
of-
infrequent, unique?
yeah.
So there is, and maybe this isn't strong enough language, but there's language that, let me see here. Posting should in no way state or imply that the funds or equipment, supplies, I'm in letter B, page 2, in the middle of that paragraph. Posting should in no way state or imply that funds received through crowdfunding campaign are necessary in order for students to appropriately be served and educated. Maybe that's, I think that might be the closest thing to what you're talking about. So if that doesn't cover it, we can add more language. And this is kind of what, like, your point exactly is why this exists, because it shouldn't just be a free-for-all. And also, like, anytime, like, somebody's putting their name out there with a position, it does reflect on the school district,
Yeah,
so.
we don't have this right now. And that's why when Caitlin mentioned that we need to make special attention to the principals so they can make attention to the staff, is that we don't have even this.
We have nothing in,
We have nothing in place right now, which is why,
So I would use the words free for all, which is probably it's an extreme way to say it, but right now there's no protocols about it, so I
I mean, is it
There is no
going
policy
on right now?
oh yeah,
Like,
yes.
I mean, I see things or whatever, but I don't see it often.
This systemizes it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we have it, I just want it to be clear that, you know, again, I know it says the principal's gonna review this application, and maybe it's for like the principals, is that like, you know, every school has a limit of like 3 per year or something like that, like
But it also says
Otherwise-
the district administrator shall pre-approve any crowdfunding website or service that a staff member intends to use.
But that's just the website itself. So that's the saying, okay, we're good with GoFundMe.
GoFundMe
And I
versus
wish I had other examples off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
that's
then
not
whatever's
saying
posted-
individual, that's not saying Mr. Munoz would approve every single individual,
Yeah,
that's the
right.
principle, just the website itself. So if that's not strong enough, we can absolutely
I'd
have
like
language.
something, I don't want it to become like everybody's got it and, you know, and I get then the principal's gonna have, it's like, well, I okayed this one and this one seemed like a really good idea and so now someone else wants to do something and I can't say no to it and then all of a sudden there's like 8 crowdfunding things going on for Ben Franklin and, you know, parents are like, I paid, you know, I paid my taxes, I paid school fees, I paid athletic fees, I paid, you know, for some classes, I've paid, you know, $25 and like, and then now you want this, so I just feel like it has the ability to be abused. I mean, that's why I think everybody that works for us is wonderful people, they all have wonderful, you know, they wanna do what's great for kids, I mean, all of that stuff, but we wouldn't have to have any of these policies if everybody just, you
So,
know,
do
had
you wanna-
the same level of understanding.
Do you wanna limit for a year by school? I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know, just
I
some
think-
way to say like, something needs, some kind of reasonableness check.
I just think that the words that need to be put in here is to be able to be like, hey, in order to be fiscally responsible, that request, approval of these types of requests should be considered infrequent and should be satisfy unique requests. And then I think it puts the pressure on the principals, and then obviously you guys some way somehow are notified because you would have to move the money from the GoFundMe into a district account some way somehow, right? So then you would get involved, and so then you would understand or have oversight to know the frequency of what's happening and which schools it's coming from, to be able to say, hey, we now have a situation. To Jenny's point, just to be able to monitor, but I think adding language such as that, would that satisfy it?
I mean, I don't know if we have to come up with that specific, or if we've given you guys the direction and that's okay, I don't know if we have to.
So, okay, in order to be fiscally responsible, are those the words, or like to the taxpayers, fiscally responsible to the taxpayers, or just leave it fiscally responsible? These requests should be infrequent in nature. Period, do it add more?
Infrequent in nature, and I liked that like the project should be
A unique
unique
circumstance.
circumstance.
Project should be a unique circumstance.
Not just like, I would really love a bookshelf in my room,
Okay.
and we
Table.
don't have it, yeah, like, it should be
Lights
like,
up.
again, like, I think it should actually be like, and I suppose if you said it was like learning focused, I mean, somebody could say, well, I need bookshelf because I'm gonna put books on it, and books
Well,
are for
like I-
learning, but you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
it should be for the students, it shouldn't just be
Correct.
like for the convenience of.
I'm with you.
Okay, so
And then,
do we include this?
and then I think is like, are you on finance?
No.
I don't know what it is. Are you still on finance? Alright, super. So maybe what you do is you add this to like your annual review, just to say, hey, how many requests came in here at some point? Or you can just take a check on it, just to make sure we've got a pulse. And then that way we understand, hey, we're reviewing it, see the frequency, see the nature of what's being asked. And then if further language or changes needs to be put in place, for their training or whatever. That we have the right oversight.
Infrequent with annual review.
Infrequent, unique,
So does
and
this,
geared towards student learning.
right, but this doesn't stop a teacher or another employee from saying, hey, I'm gonna do this personally, but I can't use,
It's for the benefit of their classroom, like if they're using it personally.
They can't,
My house
You could,
burnt
I mean, you could go to your grandma and ask.
no, I
her.
understand, but I've seen things that says, hey, let's raise money for this particular thing in this school.
No, that would be
They
crowdfunding.
can't say, they can't
Yeah.
use the disc.
We don't have a policy
Right.
right now, which is why they're trying to rein that in. But when you say personally, like my house burned down and now I wanna go fund me,
No,
like
obviously,
I feel like that's
right.
outside the lines of this.
I get what you're saying.
In order to be fiscally responsible, these requests should be infrequent in nature and projects should be, not annual,
Unique and annually
projects should
measured.
be
By the finance committee.
frequent in nature.
I mean, I'm open to Dr. Thompson, you know, giving us like his thoughts,
He'll be here next month, right?
Yeah.
like wording it. a
But do we
little
need to
different, like-
have that for the board meeting?
Yeah, I mean, this is prep to go to the board meeting. I mean, the language is what we make it. I mean, we've cut out any number of different things out of this AG. So to put a sentence or two in there that talks about infrequent, unique, annually measured, and
Geared towards
reviewed
student
by the finance committee.
Yeah, I would say something like an annual report will be presented to the finance committee about crowdsourcing
But at some,
projects.
yeah, but this is the Neola policy, so, right? So at some point, oh, it says Neola and school district.
Yep. There's policy.
I would not think that there would be additional liability being
Oh,
added, like where they would not insure
No.
this because we put actual like
Limitation.
limitations on it.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I mean, this is a Neola template. We're adding a sentence or two to enhance
The rigor.
the AG that's here. And something we don't have. We don't have anything right now on crowdfunding. And it is recommended.
Yes, I agree, I don't
By
like
Neola.
that we don't have a policy, I like putting a policy.
When we were drafting with Dr. Thompson, he actually referenced this in particular. Do you have this?
Mhm.
You know, because there's certain policies he stops on
this is one of them.
and this was one of them.
So I mean, if you wanna like, again, I don't know how particular we have to get, like if you wanna shoot the language over later, just as a like what the final product is.
I mean, I can like put the sentence in right now, we can decide where it goes, or we could put language in and bring it to whatever board meeting it is.
Yeah, the next board meeting.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
And we can review, and if we wanna switch up words at the meeting, we switch up words. Okay.
Super.
Lovely.
Okay.
I have nothing else on the fixed dollar.
Yeah, that was like the last big one.
My last one was the ticket sales.
Okay, ticket
Does
sales.
this really happen?
So
Like it talked about tickets being numbered and like
Yeah, so
people are
tickets-
reconciling them and I'm
It's
like, I've been to a ticket booth before and I feel like all I've gotten was a stamp and like nobody, like whether I paid you know, like, is it really?
So tickets are numbered and then we give and keep one, so that's like the reconciliation.
Okay.
Is we've got this number and then this is our cash at the end of the day, and those are reconciled.
Okay.
Alright, for all sports or just football?
My understanding is it's all sports.
I don't know because I am on boosters and I do the pass, so I don't know, cause I do remember for football, they would like split them in half and make one. I don't, but I've been to basketball and I have the electronic pass, so I can't remember the last time I saw somebody do.
They're few and far between now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's mainly GoVan.
Yep. That's probably what I'm saying, okay.
And is there,
was there language, and I know we talked about this before, about free tickets for either children or veterans?
It's not.
Or what was that in? That was in a policy,
That's enough fees, I think.
Yeah, that's,
that's not an AG,
Oh,
I can't remember the policy, but
is it maybe the associated, like 6611?
or it could be in the 8,000s, we did that one already.
yeah, I remember it,
Yeah, I know we
just,
did it.
I didn't know if it had to be in the AG as well.
No,
Okay,
no, that was a policy.
Yep.
I don't believe there was an AG on that, but I know we did it.
Yep.
For sure.
I remember.
Anyone else on the 6,000?
No.
Alright.
Okay, so again, similar to the 6,000, there are, I'd say we've deleted half, kept half in this section. Gifts to the district, we included specific language that will help us make sure that we're thanking the donors and recognizing donors. I thought that was important to include. Disposal of personal property we have a process already that's reflecting our process in a specific form,
And would this be like the land behind?
not land,
Oh, not like.
not land. This is like curriculum books. And I should say disposal of personal property is, I would say like one of the main reasons it's in there is if we purchase things from federal grants, there are specific rules. Like we can't just like buy, and I'll say a big example, like we can't just buy a van for say special ed with federal dollars or even school nutrition with federal dollars and then get rid of it a few years later. So that's why we have to keep track of it with a process. Do you want to stop at any specific ones or?
Well, I did have a question on the disposal of personal property, and it just seemed like there's no, like, a lot of things, like, when you purchase something between X dollars and X dollars, this person has the authority to do it, and then if it's a higher dollar limit, you know, you have to get the approval of so-and-so, and I just noticed that disposing of property is just like, one individual is in charge of all disposals.
So in the form, that will be, we couldn't link it on here, cause when Neola cleans this, the forms are removed, so there will be a form that's included, which is already our existing form. And there's multiple signatures, so the principal is signing it, and then either the director of curriculum is signing it, or the director of facilities is signing it, and then business office.
So for example, if we're getting new desks at a school, in a classroom at North, all those desks that are in the classroom get thrown into a dumpster. That is all recorded, that is all,
Should be, yes.
okay. 'Cause that happened last year.
Yep.
And that was all approved, that was all.
Yep.
Okay,
Do we ever put anything up on like Wisconsin surplus, or
Yeah,
is it
we
just like it's,
do,
yeah.
but furniture doesn't go at all. And then we've also explored recycling and getting money back from metals, but the amount of time it would take, unfortunately, to like, cause you have to take the desks apart and the chairs apart, unfortunately, it's just not,
Lose money.
yeah, your ROI is not there, which is sad, but it's not.
and a donation, I mean, Habitat for Humanity or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I would say like individuals, like the principal or
Mhm.
director of facilities could seek out, places. I don't know that happens every time, but it could.
I mean, I could imagine just the amount of stuff
Mhm.
would be too much for a Goodwill or a whatever
Yeah.
to take in.
Yes, I mean, when things are thrown away, they are end of life.
Right,
Like the middle school chairs
Yeah.
were falling apart.
right.
Though some of those were like the ceramic original chairs,
Mhm.
so there's not even a second home that some of those things could go
Right.
to, so we try to meet all of these other options before it's a dumpster,
Mm-hmm.
because it is, it's like, it makes me cringe when I see that too, so.
Yeah.
And there's different rules for like, for example, fire retardant furniture, there's certain requirements now that didn't exist.
Uh-huh.
When a lot of this stuff we're getting rid of, we can't even, unless you do the fire retardant stuff the way that they want it in schools nowadays. Similar to building things with square footage and if it's sprinkled or not sprinkled, so some of that is an issue as well.
Or if you give a chair to somebody and they fall and crack their head open, they'll
Uh-huh.
sue you because the chair was a piece
There's
of junk.
liability there.
That is
Understood.
correct.
7440, this is, I hate to even say these things, it's just a waste of everyone's time, but, section B, item 5, says classroom doors should be kept locked when the classroom at all times, so,
That is correct.
What are we on, 7440?
so I was thinking you just take out the words when the classroom, so it would just
Yes,
say
it should
classroom
be-
doors should be kept locked
Yep.
at all times.
Just extra words in there.
It's just, yeah, like the words are there for like one of the options, but
Yeah.
and then like on the next page too, like number 9, staff members are required to return their key fobs in accordance with administrative
Number 9?
procedures. Yeah, so get rid of to the, right, cause we're just basically saying just return your key
Return to
fobs.
the school office or district office.
No, it's, we didn't choose either of those, right?
We chose, no,
No.
when we strike through the parentheses, we're keeping
Both.
it.
Oh, okay, well then maybe,
No, I think you're right on the first one.
okay.
Classroom doors should be kept locked at all times. That's all it needs to say.
Okay.
So I'm making a note to update that.
I'm sorry, that's just.
I know, it's
I
like you
hate
have to-
those like little ones,
Yeah.
and I hate for it to be like written like that on our
Yeah.
website for forever, so, okay.
I mean, honestly, as I've been doing these and I have 4 other district tabs open at all times to like compare against, and I have found similar typos that I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I should tell somebody about this.
But it's B5.
Feedback.
Is there like a administrative benefit where if you're not changing the meaning of something and it's truly fixing a typo, that it's
But you don't
gonna
have
be
to bring
updated, you
it
don't have
back.
to bring it back to committee?
No, you'll see that at our next policy committee meeting is the last Neola things that will be coming to committee. And in that particular one, we're finishing up, so we have one small section left. And then we'll be coming to the updates already.
Okay.
So Neola's already rolled updates on everything that we've already drafted. So then, behind the scenes, we're looking at it and going, okay, with Dr. Thompson on the 3rd and the 4th of March, finish up just the 2000s, which is all we have left after this. And then we're looking at the entire policy book again that's been refreshed for all Neola clients everywhere else already. So we're looking at that update. And that usually happens 3 times a year. It just happens
It's a
that
lot
we're,
now while you're in
it
the
just
process of
happens that we're drafting at the same times that they're updating.
Got it,
And that's the benefit of being with Neola, you always have completely updated policies.
that's awesome.
You're never behind, once you get through the drafting.
I had 7510 about the use of district facilities.
Mhm.
And I know, I know we have a chart,
Yeah, we start,
yeah.
it's approved in roughly May every year. So it's part of a board item and then it's included on our website when people are renting facilities.
I thought it said something like is attached or maybe not. So you're just saying you don't want it as part of this because
No, because then we have to change it annually.
Okay.
So we change it annually when the board approves it in May.
Alright. Anyone else? Oh, and then like a bunch of these, like 7540, 754001 or whatever. Like a lot of this seems like it's stuff that I know we've covered before, so maybe it was just in the policy, or is this in the handbooks?
Yes,
Okay.
so a lot of this is redundant somewhere else, and that's why oftentimes things are crossed out. I even have 7540.03, I have in my notes that there's language in parent handbooks on this, so it's covered elsewhere. Oftentimes when you're seeing something struck through, whether it's in the parent-student handbook or it's in our staff handbook or it's in the policy, a lot of this is just like in general is redundant from policy. and sometimes that's also where I struck things through, I'm like, we already talked about this is giving me nothing more, so, rather than being wordy for no reason.
Is the language, like, I mean, if we're accepting this, are we gonna, you know, maybe update the handbook so that they say it kind of in a similar way, or just, I don't know, I don't want it to be like that
Yep,
they are ever.
We can make a note of that for sure.
And then I noticed that like all the parentheses, like where it like sort of cross references, like in the second paragraph, there's a whole bunch of like established for program development, AG 221A through AG 2252, and like so it kind of like is cross referencing with other policies, but we
Which are you
struck
in?
them all. Oh, 7540.
Oh, which
Just
okay, okay.
So many 75.
There
It's just the
no
7540.
no dots.
So second paragraph,
Oh,
and there's like all of these AG 2521A, AG 6320A, and Form 7540, like we crossed all out those things.
Yeah, and that was Mr. Halverson specifically on this one, I don't know if he, like if it was double checked whether like that procedure doesn't exist, cause that, you know, we've crossed out many procedures, AGs, so it's possible that they don't exist, or the cross-reference is simply unnecessary. And if, like,
I know,
we've
then
talked
you
a lot
change
about,
it,
like, if
yeah.
you change it or you get rid of something in the future and it's referenced somewhere else, it's just a huge pain in the butt, like, you can't possibly get them all.
It's just nice for like when you're reading it and you're like, oh yeah, I wanted to
To go
look at
there,
selection
right.
of materials, and it's like, oh well, you know what, now I don't have to figure out what the AG is, but if that makes it more difficult, then I get it. That's all I have.
The 8,000s, I'll pitch it for Leah and Dan. Both are out today, but I drafted with them, so I'm familiar with all the decisions they were making. When they did the 8,000s. And in similar cases, so like when Caitlin was talking about finance and property, if something is deleted, it's because, especially the personnel, it's in handbooks.
Yes.
And students, you know, in handbooks, but we'll get to some of that. First one, 8120 volunteers. Quite a bit there, but awfully all template. And if you have questions, please, you know, right now, if you wanna jump in generally. Continuity of organizations, that's straight template.
Yep, I did have one thing on
Yep.
the second page, bottom of the second page.
Yep.
What number are we on?
8,300.
So that one, the very last sentence says, these areas may include but not be limited to the following departments and divisions, and then, oh, I was thinking we were striking all of these, but we're not,
We're accepting them.
We're accepting them,
some
except,
of them. Okay, so then you can leave that, I'm sorry, I thought all of them were being stricken, so I was like, I think of it.
Darn at that point.
Yes.
8305 is deleted. Although we talked to during drafting, that wasn't necessary based on policies and or existing handbooks. Information security was necessary, so Katie Welke and Mr. Halverson worked on that quite a bit, along with security incident management. So those very much go together, so 8305A and 8305B and 8305C, which is FERPA, Federal Education Rights and Privacy Acts. So those are, they kind of all went hand in hand. There was some discussion about keeping this one big AG, but they decided to keep it the way the template's laid down. But it's essentially data security, broad-based, but also student. FERPA is student.
I have a 8305B.
Yeah.
Copyright for Neola is 2017. Are they not updating that to 2025, 2026?
8305B.
Yes, if you go to the
I mean, it's IT, so if to have a policy from 2017, it's a bit,
Yeah, I remember this one. This was a lot of legalese, meaning, for example, the first big paragraph, an employee who puts the district confidential data at risk as a result of his or her failure to adhere to relevant policies. It's boilerplate in terms of security from the person, just like logging into this computer here. We're changing that password all the time, which has made that more of a thing. But it's an important piece for all of us, and they're changing our passwords all the time. So
I think the point is security is taking a step forward. This policy is bordering 9 years old. There's 2 of them, so 2 of the 3, the first one,
Yeah.
A is updated in 2025. And then the other
I understand like there's nothing
technical,
technical in here,
right?
it's just,
Has there been different case law that would have been?
yeah, is there,
Yeah, when we were drafting through them, there was, we'll see on the updates.
Is this
So
like
the
the
next
first, is this like the first day it was developed, but like they may have changed some of the language along the
So,
way, or?
When we come to the next policy meeting, we will have a full update, meaning 35-1, they're gonna look at all policies and all AGs that we've already looked at, even the ones we're gonna look at that same day, the 2000s.
Right, so will everything then say 2025 on them?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If it's going to be updated, we'll know then. If there's some sort of addition, we'll have to go in and redraft and then come back to you at the next policy committee meeting with any sort of updates that they would have implemented.
I
No,
understand that, what I'm trying to say is like, these dates, like the first day, like, so the next one, this, 8310A. This one has a 2023 date on it, is that like when it first was ever developed? So like.
that's when it was last updated.
So this is, so, okay, so the date is the last update, so something from
Correct.
2017 really hasn't had a single update since 2017.
That is my.
Cause there was one earlier that was 2011.
Oh yeah, there's some
There's
really,
some really-
No, there's some that date back, but if,
I was just thinking that might be their original.
I just giving
No.
you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, but-
no, that's how it essentially works. We come to 35-1 update, it'll make more sense, because they go down and list, for example, we're gonna run through quickly and kind of go, they're gonna have legal changes. Then we'll go through and say, okay, here are changes we made, there were legal changes. You can look at them, of course, and look at all the legal changes. Then it'll be technical changes, like you were saying. Somebody, we were drafting through and found an error, these are technical changes. So it'll be legal changes, technical changes, then there's content changes, it's a different word for it. But if we're drastically changing something, there'll be that as well. But they'll come with recommendations. They've even told us with some of these, they prepared us ahead of time that some of these will change. For example, there was one on, not crowdfunding, but it was with
I'm sorry.
501(c)(3)s.
Oh, okay,
Remember with the
Yep.
that there was gonna be a lot of changes with
student support groups.
student support groups. That we knew that when we drafted that, they said 35-1 is
Yep.
there's a lot of changes with how money is raised, with student groups and all of these sorts of things. So we've already been pre-warned that one is gonna be practically brand new.
Yeah.
So
Then do you have to worry about the aged ones that seem to be inactive?
that's
Really?
why we have them. No, no, I'm not at all.
So you're not like maintaining a list of anomalies where you're like, hey, it's been 9 years, back to 2011.
I can ask them specifically about it.
it just gives me it makes me pause and be like, 2017, you know? It doesn't sound like that long ago, but it was,
It's 2026.
so I'm just, it
And looking around at
catches your eye when it says 2011 or
Yeah.
2017.
but looking around at other districts that
Yeah.
have Neola,
Yeah.
it's the same way.
And wasn't there a state statute that just says you have to like review your policies once every, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, or was that just a best practice we did?
And this
What
is, and we're reviewing them 3 times a year.
I just wanna make sure that that date's not
And Neola
interpreted
does it
as not
daily.
being reviewed.
No, not at all.
Figure
We work with a policy review company, they're reviewing it 3 times a year,
it out.
so. Alright, public records, 8310. Leah reviewed these, very straightforward, very legal, she said. Have to do's.
So they were like all the standard language.
Yep. Response to public records, very legal. Maybe one word change, litigation hold, she said. Legal, lots of legal. Personnel records, same sort of thing. There's not a lot of variance. She took the template with the understanding of the American with Disabilities Act and 103.13 of Wisconsin statutes. Substantially legal. Receipt of legal documents, same sort of thing. Very scripted, very specific. Mr. Halverson worked on student records in the same way. Now, it's boilerplate language, we took options inside of the boilerplate language, but nothing. We took their boilerplate language with minor exceptions. So student records is very much like a legal piece. School mail delivery system, we deleted that, just not something that we use. Animals in the classroom, we have policy on that. So there's policy on that, which we talked about that.
So it's like in the staff handbook versus in
Yep,
your.
we have policy on that we need to follow and
Really, was the same information with the policy.
Perfect.
when we looked at it, we were like, why would we do it again? Threat assessment and intervention, Dan went through that with the police. And they have signed off on this as we have too. Next one is mold. The legal requirements with that, including indoor environmental quality concern record, which we have in there as well. Next one, characteristics of safe and responsive to all children. These are redundant, these are AGs, we have policies for all this. So these are the ones that are deleted that I was sort of mentioning, identifying, responding to warning signs. We already have this all in policies. Underlying intervention, same sort of thing, all in policies. We did want to have 8410D, risk or behavioral problems. So that was worked on with both Mr. Halverson and Mr. Just with respect to intervention tactics, intervention skills.
Completely Neola.
It's a Neola template. Yes. Delete the next one. Template for tips to parents, straight Neola. Emergency procedures,
Everything that's crossed out is in more detailed as procedures are in our flip charts.
right, the flip charts and all the details that Mr. Halverson has presented, that which he could present in public or which we have done in private is much more in detail than what's listed there, including with severe weather and tornadoes.
What is kept in that, in the language that is kept, is how often the drills have to be complete, which I think is really nice because there's not one spot that says all that information, so I like
That's right.
that component to that.
AG 8430.
Yep.
Do we really want this as a public record?
The language that, this is literally from our flip chart, so if we delete it, we have it in our flip chart, so
So people can access
Absolutely.
publicly on websites and everything anyway?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's word for word.
So I'm keep it or delete it, but it's same exact thing within the flip chart.
Oh, that's fine. Part of me was like, is this anything that a person being knowing, anticipating when I'm calling in, what's
Bad actor,
yes, what's gonna
No.
happen, yes, but if it's, that same information is mirrored in other places, then
The next one has to do with hazards, it's more like work hazards, slips and falls, oil, just things that happen on the job. On the job injury, I was told is pretty straightforward in terms of work comp.
same exact language that's in the handbook.
Who's a safety officer? Is that just a designated person at the school?
Where do you see that?
Well, okay. second page of 8431,
Oh,
about halfway down, chemical inventory list, the
Oh,
safety officer is responsible.
Yeah, we have a chemical officer,
What did you, chemical hygiene officer?
yes,
For the whole district?
we do. We actually just met with them today.
Yep.
So we have a safety meeting, and it's a two-part safety meeting where we do,
He doesn't work for the district,
yes, yes,
she works for the district, I'm sorry, she works for the district?
yes,
And that is her only job?
no.
no.
Oh,
Like, this
okay,
feels
that's
like
what
a
I'm
hat.
wondering.
Yeah, this is like one of the hats somebody's
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
The hat,
It's a, yeah, no,
So
it's pretty
Teacher,
yes.
teacher
teacher.
with
With the background.
with a background, because a lot of it has to do with chemicals.
Mm-hmm,
So it's a science teacher
mm-hmm,
with
Yeah.
a lot of in-depth training
okay.
as it relates to hazardous chemicals.
Acid
yes,
or whatever.
yes.
This person will answer the phone at any time.
This, I mean, this
Not
person is
naming them.
contactable in the school.
She's, like I said, we meet with her, it happened to be today, it really did, and it was the 2:00 meeting we were in. And
How ironic.
there was, it's ironic, but there was a walk around that's done, a safety walk around that looks at the building, that our insurance company is with us in order to look at slips and falls and things that we could change. It just happens, today was the day at Riverside and CE and Rec. But then we also have a part with that officer to see if there's any updates or changes that need to make with those protocols.
Do we need to update it from chemical officer to whatever you called it?
Safety officer.
Safety officer versus chemical, are you just gonna let that ride
We're
as
good.
interchangeable?
This is the 2025 Neola policy, so we're good.
Management of casual contact diseases, straight template. I think that comes out of the COVID era, it looks like.
Yes.
Mr. Halverson worked with the nurses on the next couple where we already have that in policy and our protocols in terms of head lice and defibrillators.
Is
We have a protocol in place for these things.
8442 on the job injury, why is there so much added?
Oh, cause that language is straight from our handbook, and then
Yeah.
also from we have these yellow envelope, we call them work comp kits.
That's right.
So that language is all consistent from the yellow envelope to the handbook to this, so that all the green is straight from there.
Yeah, when you see the green, essentially what was done was, hey, yes, we're using the AG template. We wanna make sure that our handbooks, it's us getting ahead of our work with respect to existing handbook language. Mandatory reporting, every educator is a mandatory reporter, that's straight legal. Food and beverage sales, charged meals was deleted, right?
Procedure for charge meals, that's already included in
Right.
our policy.
And then transportation,
Straightforward, really. Bus conduct, is all information that's already included in our, like we have a trifold brochure that's district-wide on our website, and then schools have individuals, we have an annual meeting with our bus drivers and the principals, so this is all just reflecting what we do already. And then there's the next few on bus procedures and idling, et cetera. A lot of this doesn't apply to us because we have a contracted bus service. So if we own our own buses and employed our own bus drivers,
that's
it
right.
would apply, but because we don't do that and we contract with the company, that's why these are struck through.
Any that we can specifically address that anybody's had comments or questions on?
Nope.
Alright, good job, everybody. That'll bring us to our action items, so, So I'll need a motion to approve the first read preliminary approval of the Neola Administrative Guidelines 6000s as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Shelley, I'm just gonna say names now, I mean, I tried to be like super proper and it's just getting very difficult to do that, so
I'll second.
seconded by Travis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay, that passes unanimously. Next item, I'll need a motion to approve the first read preliminary approval of Neola Administrative Guidelines 7000s as presented. Motion by Shelley,
I'll second.
second by Travis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, they pass unanimously. And finally, I'll need a motion to approve the first read preliminary approval of the Neola Administrative Guideline 8000s as presented.
I'll motion.
Motion by Shelley,
I'll second.
second by Travis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that passes unanimously. That brings us to our future agenda items. Does anybody have anything they would like to have brought to a future agenda item, or as a future agenda item, excuse me?
The only thing we have left are the 2000s, and then we're moving on to the update 35-1. So that'll be the last policy committee meeting, at least drafting, which is the 2000s. So that'll be Ms. Rebel, and then myself, and then 35-1, which is the update of everything. But that's not as onerous as it sounds. We've already got a handle on it.
That's awesome. We're doing the 2000s, just calendar wise, how does this tie into election and new people? Are you trying to
Yep.
get this all tied up so that
Yep,
you have
it's all-
consistency? Okay,
Yep, it's all
Okay.
set. And it's in our drafting guidelines,
beautiful.
where we'll be done drafting the 3rd and the 4th, if memory serves,
The third and the fourth, yep.
The 3rd and the 4th of March are our 2 last drafting days with Neola. Then after that, it's policy committee meeting in March, and then board meeting. Actually, just one board meeting. And so we'll bring the update and the 2000s, and then the final resolution, all in one meeting, and Dr. Thompson will be there for questions.
Well, that brings us to the end of the agenda. I'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Motion by Shelley,
Second.
by Travis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
I got it.
Travis, I'm waiting for you to tell